Well, so we finally decided we're going to have to fix something that I really didn't want to have to fix. The guy who dug this hole. So she's had this hole dug twice now. Before she got to me, she had somebody come in and dig a hole and put some clay in, and they dug it too small, and that cost her money. And then she didn't like that, so she called somebody else to come in and dig the hole again, and it was a guy who does aquaponics ponds and um, not so much aqua gardens. And so what happened is, and I'll show you, hold on. All right, so when he dug this pond, he didn't put a level on it. So you have a spot over there that is 2.5 feet higher than over here, right? So that means you're pretty much going to have to look at liner. You're never going to get water level up to the sides, up to the top of the sides in the right places. He also didn't dig it square. So everywhere that the liner goes in, it's a rounded shaped pond, right? It's round bottomed, and there's nowhere that it's, with the exception of over here, right there, it goes square down to the drop where it's supposed to. But the rest of it is on this angle. And the problem with that angle is that it makes it real difficult to put rocks around it to make it pretty, which is problematic. It makes it difficult to put a planter on top of it to grow plants, because they'd have to grow all the way over 3 foot of liner, like in that case over there or here. There's an awful lot of liner that is not covered up, basically. So what we're going to have to do is dig out underneath the liner all the way around from, about the halfway mark here. Might even have to get all the way down there. Pull the liner out and put more fill dirt underneath the liner, and use a level to make sure that we are level from that corner to that corner to this corner to that corner. And then we'll be able to pull the liner up closer and dig it back in without having so much liner laying up on top. There are some ways around this. I gave her some suggestions of how we might manage this otherwise. One of the thoughts is to drape the whole thing with felt staked in, and then grow lots of moss on the felt, which would then hide the ugly black liner and produce a really nice green, lush growing fall all the way around. But she doesn't like that idea, so we're not doing that. Another thought was to anchor logs so that they hang down the edges, and then the ends of them are in the water, which would give kind of a sideways boardwalk look. And when the water moved, it would kind of clang the logs around, and it might make some pretty sounds, and it would look interesting. But she doesn't like that idea either. So ideas aside, I had a few others too, but those, and there's always the just grow a bunch of plants from the backside of this liner and let them overlap, and eventually with enough plants it will hide it, and you won't see that there's so much liner up. I mean, that's another option too. But so as she says, she's been meaning to do this her entire life, and so she doesn't want to do it wrong. And I agree. I think the best way to handle this is just to redig this liner up, put more fill dirt in it, create a berm, and then dig the liner back in again, which will straighten it up, square it up, even it up on all 4 sides, and that way the water level comes to the top of the plastic all the way around, and then we can decorate it however the heck we want. So looks like that's going to be a project for next week, and we're going to go back to working on the smaller projects that we're working on right now. So what we're doing today, I have oh hey, look, my hand over the camera. I have Bought some tent stakes because there's a couple places where the liner that is on the little river is not going to be able to just get buried in. I'm going to have to actually stake it in so that water and sand falling can't push it down and fill in our little river. So we're going to do that. I am going to cut our new secondary release hole in the second canister filter, and I've got a couple of rocks I want to move once I've got the rest of this dug in. And yeah, I think that'll be enough for the day. So that's what we're going to do. Let's get to it. All right, so as I mentioned yesterday, we have some spots that are leaking in the river, and it's basically just where the cuts in the liner are. So I'm gonna have to go back through and glue them. This is the main spot right here. As you can see, there's still water in the river there, because it does actually flow backwards just a tiny bit. It's just a couple of millimeters that kind of reaches over that spot right about there. And then anyway, so right here, water runs backwards just a tick, and it goes underneath the liner, and then it drains down through the sand in the hill. There's another spot right there. There's another spot right there. There's another spot over there. There's probably one there. There's definitely one there. So I'm going to take the good old Gorilla Glue and glue down this liner, make sure that it's sealed all the way around and all the way through so that water can't go backwards. That's it. Pretty simple, but it's going to take a minute. Whew, boy, it's a hot one out here today. Gotta love the Florida, what are we calling this, spring? Feels like summer to me. All right, so we got our second pipe in. The overflow works perfectly. I still can't crank that pump all the way to the top, but I can pump it, or I can crank it about 3/4 of the way now. We get lots and lots and lots of water flow. Not running water at the moment because I am currently Gorilla Gluing down all the liners wherever there are splits so that we don't get water overflow anywhere. I've done a couple of spots along the way there already. Still working on this one. This one's the big one, and hopefully that will fix our leaks. Pretty sure this was our main loss of water right here. So there's another piece of liner right there. I'm going to glue that in behind that one just for quadruple, absolute, not going to leak kind of stuff. We put in some sand hooks. You can see those ugly orange things there. There's a bunch of black ones in there too, which hopefully you can't see as much. But those orange ones rather, are twist-in sand hooks that really grab. The black ones are more poke-in, and they do hold stuff down real well, but they don't anchor stuff like actually into the sand. So we had to use those ugly orange ones, but I'll probably end up clipping those off and hitting them with some black spray paint to make them disappear. And yeah, so we're working. It's been a long day that feels like not much accomplished, but I mean, sometimes days go like that, I guess. Pretty happy with it so far. We are really getting close to the point where we can call this plumbing and river and water flow or waterfall complete. And then it's just a matter of doing all the landscaping and making this thing pretty. We are next week, I guess, going to dig up the liner all the way around the pond and try and level it. God, I wish people did stuff right the first time. But they don't, so you end up having to fix stuff. I do have I've got a fish rescue to go on right about now. It's not a big thing, but this gentleman and his wife moved into a house, and the original tenants just left all their fish. I say all their fish. I think there's only 2 fish, but left their fish and left the tank and left I don't know, some stuff. So luckily they're going to drive up. They're in Lakeland, I think, so they're going to drive up to Crystal River, and we're going to meet there and pick up some fish. And I think I'm pretty much done screwing around for the day. Be back tomorrow, I have to wait for that glue to dry. I can't do anything until that first batch of glue dries. So that's where we are, and I'm a little tired and a little distressed today, but I guess we're good, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. So see you then. Also, if you haven't clicked the subscribe button, that would be awesome. Awesome. That keeps the rescue going. That keeps us working. That keeps you know, the hoping to hit that 1,000 marks. If we can hit that freaking 1,000 mark, then you know, we can monetize a bit, and the channel will move up a little faster, and everything will be great. But anyway, it takes you pushing that button right there. Appreciate you guys. See you.